Hello everybody, myself Professor Pallavi Gule. So today we are going to see about the special horticultural practices followed in fruit crops. First we'll go for the Bahar treatment. So Bahar treatment, in this treatment the irrigation is withheld 2 months prior to the Bahar, followed by the light earthing up in the basin. This facilitates the shedding of the leaves. The trees are then medium pruned 40 to 45 days after withholding irrigation. The recommended doses of fertilizers are applied immediately after the pruning and irrigation is resumed. This leads to the profuse flowering and fruiting. The fruits are ready for harvest 4 to 5 months after flowering. In tropical condition, there are three flowering seasons: January February, that is Ambiya Bahar, June July, that is Mrig Bahar, and September October, that is Hast Bahar. The choice of the flowering and fruiting is regulated taking into consideration the availability of irrigation water, market demand, and pest and disease incidence in the given locality. The fruits of Ambiya Bahar are ready for the harvest in the month of June to September. As the fruit's development takes place during the dry months, they develop an attractive color and quality. They are suitable for export. Similarly, due to the dry weather, the incidence of the pest and disease attack are limited. However, Ambiya Bahar can taken only in areas having assured irrigation facilities. Mrig Bahar crop is harvested in the month of December to February. Usually, this Bahar is favored as the flowering and the fruiting period coincides with the rainy season or immediately after the rains, and the crop is taken without much irrigation. As the fruits develop during the rainy season, they mature during the winter. The color and the sweetness of the fruit is affected. The fruits from Hastabahar are harvested during the month of March to April. They have very attractive green with a dark colored iris. Since the availability of the fruits during this season is limited, they fetch a high value. Optimum water stress cannot be developed during this period as withholding of irrigation coincides with the rainy season. This leads to the poor flowering and thus affects the yield. Next, we'll see about the girdling in grapes. Girdling is a practiced in a commercial vineyard, consists of the removal of the ring of the bark from 3 to 6 width entirely around the selected trunk, cordon, or the cane of the vine. To hasten the maturity, to aid the uniform berry coloring, increase the size of the berries and clusters, and improve the berry set or increase in the number of the berries in the cluster. When the girdle, the energy flow generated in the leaves is temporarily redirected towards the clusters and the berries, resulting in the earlier ripening time, increased berry and the bunch size, and better coloring. Time of the operation 1 week after the fruit set. Physiology and principle behind girdling. The operation consists of the circular removal of the bark from the cane trunk, primary or the secondary arms of the grapevine. This operation helps in cutting the phloem tissue, which is important tissue for translocation of the carbohydrate flow. As a result, the downward flow of carbohydrates is interrupted. This operation can be carried out on the cane's main branch, primary arms, or secondary arms. However, the cane girdling is considered safe and is followed by the farmers. A circular ring of the bark 2.5 cm in the width is removed carefully from the basal portion of the cane, giving a clear cut with a sharp knife. Borax mixture paste is applied on the girded part to avoid the attack by the bacteria, fungi, and other pathogens. Bending in guava. So first we'll go for the bearing habits of the guava and the branch bending. So guava plant bears the flowers on the current season growth and the new shoots irrespective of the time of the year. New shoots are produced on the mature wood and past season growth laterally or terminally. In general, flowers are produced in the axils of the leaves as a solitary or in the chimex of 2 to 3 flowers. The current season flowering shoots continues its growth till the fruiting setting. After the fruit setting, the terminal bud ceases its growth until the next growing season. Sometimes the flowers appear at the tip of the current season growth. Such shoots do not grow further. Thus, the crop load depends upon the number of the new shoots. Emergence of the more number of lateral shoots on the branch means a more flowering and fruiting. Upright, erect growing branches produces a new lateral shoots near to their top end. The lower parts of such branches remain dormant because of the apical dominance phenomena. The tip of the branches produces the plant hormone known as auxin that moves downward and inhibits the growth and development of the lateral buds. This suppressive effect of the oxygen on the lateral buds gets diluted in a spreading, dropping, or horizontally growing branches, and such branches produces enormous number of new lateral shoots. Therefore, the guava branches can be induced to promote a more number of lateral shoots by adoption of the branch bending technique. Bending of the branches interrogate or activates the more dormant lateral buds by the means of suppressing the apical dominance. Besides, this technique induces more flowering by maintaining the higher C-N ratio and stimulating the proline biosynthesis under an episode of stress. Crop regulation and branch bending. Under the subtropical climate, guava exhibits a true bahars in a year, whereas in a tropical climate produces the three bahars. The details of the bahars are given below. Ambia bahar, this flowering is in spring, that is February March. Harvesting season coincides during the rainy season, that is July September. Brig bahar flowering season is June July. Harvesting season is November and January. Hasta bahar flowering season is October November and harvesting season is February and April. Throughout India, Mrig Bahar is preferred over the Mbiya Bahar and Hasta Bahar because the rainy season guava crop is insipid, watery, less nutritive, and is infected by the fruit flies. Winter season crop is superior in the terms of the fruit size, taste, shelf life, and incidence of the pest and diseases. Hastabahar is observed in the western and southern India. The quality of the fruits is good, but yield is very low. However, this off-season fruit fetches a good market price. Guava growers are advised for the crop regulation so as to take only the one crop per year because bearing crops throughout the year results in a no rest period for the plants and lower the yields at the different times of the year. Crop regulation by the adoption of the branch pinning technique is an economic technique wherein an orchardist can induce a new fruit bearing shoots in the guava in any season and can regulate the fruit production according to the local market. The technique of bending. Branch bending is very simple technique to adopt in an orchard planted at a conventional plant density. However, in the case of the high density less than 5 is to 5 meter spacing orchards, its adoption is not feasible as the bending requires more space and the plant becomes spreading in nature. Branch bending can be performed in a 2 years old plant and it can be continued till the 8 years. Step to be followed for the bending are apply half fertilizer requirement of the crop 15 to 20 days prior to the bending. Remove a small shoot, leaves, fruits, flowers from the branch, keeping 10 to 12 pairs of the leaves intact at the terminal portion of the each branch. Bend down the branch to open the central canopy. To bend the branches, pressure should be applied at the base and it should gradually progress to the tip portion. Untie the bent branches when the new shoots are 1 centimeter in length. Apply the remaining half amount of the fertilizers at a marble stage of the fruit growth. Time of the bending. Though the bending can be practiced throughout the year, an orchardist is advised not to practice it during the rainy or the winter season to avoid the crop losses due to the flower drop and slow growth, respectively. Bending in a summer and autumn season is considered desirable to get more yields. Time of the bending. Summer bending April June and in autumn bending September October. Shoot emergence in the September bending 8 to 10 days after the bending and flowering will take 40 to 45 days after the bending. Autumn bending is in the September November. Shoot emergence will be after 20 to 25 days after bending and a flowering will come after 60 to 65 days after bending. Advantages of branch bending are this technique is very simple and easy to practice. It is eco friendly and cost effective as it does not require a costly or the hazardous chemicals for crop regulation. Branch bending opens the central canopy of the plant and allows a better penetration of the sunlight and facilitate the aeration in canopy. It minimizes the incidence of the diseases and the pest. Bending increases the number of the shoots by activating a more number of dormant lateral buds, thus inducing the profuse flowering and the fruiting without much removal of the biomass. It augments the uniform flowering and fruiting. Next, we'll see about notching in fig. Notching is a special horticultural practice followed in the figs and involves giving a slanting cut little above or little below the buds and removing the slice of the bark at a particular depth and the width depending upon the size of the branch. Objective of notching is to interrupt the downward flow of carbohydrates to induce the flowering when done below the bud, to induce a lateral or laterals on the vigorous shoots when done above the bud. Notching also prevents inhibiting effect of a certain chemicals on the buds. Site of the notching: 3 to 4 large, healthy, and plumpy buds from the middle portion of mature 8-month-old shoots. Time of the notching: notching below the bud, January February; notching above the bud is done in July August. Procedure of notching: 3 to 4 large, healthy, and plumpy buds from the middle portion of the mature 8-month-old shoots are selected. Slip of the bark of 2 to 6 mm in the width and 15 to 20 mm in the length just above or below the bud is removed as per the requirement. Physiology behind the bird notching above the bird is the downward flow of carbohydrate is interrupted. Carbohydrate accumulates above the bird. CN ratio in the bird decreases. Bird sprouts and give out the vegetative growth. Notching below the bird, her carbohydrates flow get interrupted and they accumulate inside the bird, increasing the CN ratio, resulting in the more number of the fruits. Size and the TSS of the fruits is also increased. So this was all about the special horticultural practices followed in the fruits. Thank you.